Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Paulson, and welcome to Just One Truth. In this episode, I'm going to answer a question from a friend of mine. He asked me about my thoughts on the viability of meditation, or not the viability, but just my thoughts on meditation. And the reason he's asking me is not because I am a meditation master or something like that. I am not a Buddhist. I am not a Hindu. I'm not a theist of any kind. I don't know how to say it. I'm a spiritual seeker. I'm looking for the truth. And the truth is nested deep in teachings. That's what I look for. But the reason he's asking me is because I have this really analytical approach. I really need to know how or why something works. I have a difficult time just taking it on faith. I've never been able to do that. And so it's led me to kind of some different ideas and different realization. He's just interested in hearing what I have to say on that. What that looks like is, for example, as I was told sometime early in life, if you want to feel better about things, you need to forgive the people that hurt you. And I would ask, why? Well, just because it's better for you. God will be happy, or any of the other things that you hear. And I never could reason why I would forgive somebody who molested me or something like that, or somebody who hurt me really severely. How do we do things like that? We know that if you forgive people, life is better, that your life is better somehow, some way, that you've let something go. And there are people who can do that. I couldn't. Something was stuck. I needed something different. And what that eventually led to was realizing that the brain is an electrochemical storage device that stores the memory of what happened, plus the emotional state of what happened at the time that it was there, plus all the networking things that add to it, plus the years of practice we put towards thinking about it and hating it and taking it out on other people. All of that continues to grow and build, but it's in the brain from a memory, and it's acting out because of the way you hold the memory. I'm ashamed of it. Therefore, my life continues to cycle around feeling shame. How do I get rid of the shame? You got shame inside of you you're hiding. Anger, hatred, those kind of things, they cycle around again and again. And when I realized that the brain is the mechanism here, and that it is reaching out into the environment, that it is with everybody else's brains that are all connected, being triggered, going through experiences, living life in a way that those continue to play out. And that in order to change your life, you had to change this, which meant when that was done, you forgave the person. Once you no longer were ashamed or hurt, when you let that person off the hook, a healing took place. So instead of forgiving them and trying to figure out why it doesn't work, when really the problem is coming from your brain, that gave me something to focus on. I then knew that, okay, the brain is an electrochemical device. It takes a while to build up neural pathways. It can take a while to diminish them. That's why maybe if I say I forgive somebody, I still hurt. It still bothers me. So I have to go in and examine it and look at it until I realize that my emotion around that has changed. And of course, to me, the significant benefit in that is being able to very carefully and very accurately engage with yourself and see how the forgiveness happens, why you're hurt, why you need to get rid of it, how to get rid of it, how to view it, how to store it. These are all spiritual teachings. I just had to know why. Okay, and Lewis Smith, who asked the question, is like me and like a lot of other people. Why? How? How do we make it work? People tell you to do it. It doesn't seem to work. We can put more to it. In antiquity, they didn't know we had a brain. They had to figure out all this stuff and make it work. But now that we know that we have a brain and how things are stored and how it interacts with the environment and other people, humanity as a whole, then we can actually do something to manipulate our life by manipulating this up here instead of looking at life and wondering, God, why does it happen like that? Okay, that having been all blabbered out, let me go ahead and read the question. Lewis, thank you. What are your thoughts on meditation and stillness of the mind? So those are two different things. Meditation is a way to get stillness of the mind. Stillness of the mind is what we're looking for, obviously. Then there's a reason we're looking for stillness of the mind. Let's stop for a minute, though, and think about something. I like doing this, going back in time. Imagine we are thousands of years ago. I always like being that little shepherd boy. That's the role. That's the play role I gave myself. Whenever I go back and try to figure out what they're doing, I take on the persona of that uneducated, can't read, can't write boy that is looking for answers, and what they have is not what we have. So we're trying to figure all of that out. So first thing I want to do is say right off that my life is very simple back there in that time, in that place. I'm watching my sheep. I spend days alone out there. I got a small bag of food. I forage a bit. All those things are happening. And throughout the day, I might have to sometimes wander off and pull a sheep in that's taking off someplace, or take them somewhere where there's more grass. I'm there alone with the sheep all day long, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And I might be thinking about things like, I wonder what mom and dad are doing at home. I wonder how that sick goat is doing that we have. I wonder if my brother got his new sandals. Well, that's about it. Okay, let's leave that little boy there for a second and be us. You wake up in the morning and you think, I wonder if it's icy out. Traffic's always bad this time of day. God, I hear my neighbor's loud truck. Boy, I hate that thing. I wonder if that new contract came in at work. I don't need gas in the car. Boy, I sure need a raise. Man, that guy at work, I've had it with him. I don't know how to deal with that SOB. I got to get something out of the freezer and put it on the counter so it's thawed out. I can fix something later. I should have put it in the crock pot. And we haven't even gotten out of bed yet. We don't give ourselves time. Time that was naturally built in at one time is evolving out of our culture and out of our lives as we get into more advanced civilization. More primitive places are still quiet and peaceful like that. We tend to get into so much. And boy, I've heard people in my life proud of how many things they could be doing at the same time. People bragging about multitasking are people with minds that don't stop. And then we're told that's a good thing. We're told many things. We're told to keep all of our pain and stuff inside, tough it out, don't talk about it, don't show emotions. Everything that screws us up. And okay, so what are the results? Where do we get? I don't know how many nights I would wake up at 3 a.m. with your head just twisted up and everything that's got you bothered. And you can't get back to sleep despite the fact that only 6 hours ago you doubled up on the dosage of blue sleep aids. After a handful of years of those, they don't work anymore. You wake up haunted. There's actually studies on that. There's reasons why we wake up in the morning that have to do with sleep patterns that probably were an evolutionary thing, but I'm not going to wander down that path right now. Where do we sit today with it? Here is something that I know, and I want to just cut to the chase. Let's do this. When you are looking for answers, you need a quiet mind. When you're trying to figure out what is bothering you and what is haunting you and what is hurting you and how to figure it out, you need a quiet mind. When you're asking, why do I do this? How come this happens? You will get answers. But you have to shut up the thinking. The answer can't come to you when your mind is so busy that it can't hear. It's like it's tied up. It's like you're trying to call somebody. It's like the cosmos is trying to call you, but you're off hook. Yeah, you can't get through. Sorry. So we look for quiet time to get answers. What happens now when we wake up at 3 a.m? You've had 6, 7, 8 hours of quiet time. Your mind is wiring at night. It's finishing. It's doing, I don't know, I presume some sort of housekeeping things that have to do with however the human works. I don't want to get into that. What I do know is this. What bothers me at 3 o'clock in the morning is the biggest issues I have to resolve. That's the cosmos telling me, here's your problems. You're looking for what to do? Here it is. Fix this. Sometimes it's difficult. It might be your job. It might be relationships that are going south but are difficult to deal with. If it's haunting you and you wake up at 3 a.m. because your mind has been quiet, that's what you need to take care of. Okay, so meditation does what? Meditation creates a quiet place. When your mind is so active and so busy, you can't shut it down. You can't stop. It'll take you over. It'll haunt you. And you need to recognize, oh my God, what is going on? I can't quiet my mind and long enough to figure things out. Meditation is a purposeful act that will help you train your brain, or a part of your brain, to have neural pathways that are quiet, a place you can go to, a place where when your mind is doing that, you can stop maybe. And, one thing I like to do, I made a recording of sound inside of my tent, and I added some wind to it and things like that. It's a comforting, it's quiet. It doesn't have a story to it. I put it on in my head, and I would think of just a meditation, the quiet place. And you can kind of shift over to it and get your mind quiet for, 2 seconds. And then it's back over going crazy again. You're very good at having a wild mind, not very practiced at having a quiet mind. But the quiet mind is necessary because it helps us resolve the things that are bothering us. And that then affects a change in the quality of our life. If we're looking to live in the way, in the Tao, or just effortless life, or all of those things, we need to get rid of all of the little things that we have inside of us that take us off course. All those little spiritual rudders in the water that take you to places you don't want to go. Those are the little things that we have to remove and get rid of. But the quiet mind is very necessary. If you're having a conversation with somebody and outside somebody is trying to tell you something, you can't hear them. You have to be quiet. And the more we get active minds, the less quiet we become, the more we get farther away from our capacity to do that. The more we're networked, the more we're swamped with stuff, the harder it becomes to get back to that place. For certain people. Some people can just relinquish that and let it go. At any rate, I'm not sure if I said everything I wanted to on this. The meditation is something I don't do routinely anymore, but I am now retired and I have a lot of time that I just have quiet, peaceful time. It's contemplative time. I think about this kind of stuff a lot, so it's healthy for me. I don't think everybody has to meditate. I don't think meditation is a necessary function of humans. We didn't evolve meditating. That was a spiritual practice that came about later that was developed by people who realized, you got to quiet your mind. You're looking for answers. You got to make it be quiet. You can't hear what your inner being, I don't know what that is. Your subconscious, I don't know how all those magical things work in the background. There's something that is definitely working there, and you will get answers you're looking for if the mind is quiet. That's it. Meditation is an important thing. If you need to have a quiet mind, you're in environments where you can't get away, you can't escape, you can't go find peace and quiet. And in cities, it gets that way. I don't think being at home is that great of an idea sometimes. I believe that the fields, this mental field of humanity, it kind of creates a kind of a local feeling that the closer you are to it, the more, how do I describe this? You ever take a drive someplace, you get out of the city and you get to a certain point where there's like a point of debarkation where you think, oh my God, well, I finally left it behind. And you just feel like, I feel a sense of relief. And there's something happening right there. And a lot of people have that experience. And I think that might possibly be, I'm getting farther away from that confused field of massive people that are thinking all kinds of different things. And since I am the kind of personality, the NF, the feeler, the introvert, whatever, that can't disconnect from that, then I sense it too much and I need to have some space to get away from it. And I think those are all indicators of how our mind is working and how something in the background is happening that creates a sensation that messes us up in some cases and helps us out in other cases. The quieting of the mind is important, whether it's through meditation or contemplation, just walking meditations, times where you are trying to quiet your mind. And at night when you sleep, your conscious mind gets quiet. And when you wake up, boom, what hits you? The things you want to know about, but you don't want to face. And I don't know, Lewis, I don't know if that's the case for you or not. I'm also kind of creating this video for other people as well. And so I'm probably kind of overdoing it here for you. For myself, I tend to think that people that are like farmers and ranchers, people that have jobs somehow that have them remote. And I wasn't a farmer or a rancher, but I've always had jobs that had me remote, and until the end of my working career. But it gave kind of this natural built-in time to figure things out. And of course, it comes with pretty high recommendations from some of our spiritual masters from antiquity. It comes from Hinduism and Buddhism, but even Jesus, he never uses those terms. That has to be nested in a religious layer, so it sounds a little bit different, but it's the same thing. Prayer and fasting. Spiritual, it's about us. Fasting is not taking things in, not consuming, not learning, not absorbing, not listening, being quiet. Prayer and fasting is a quieting of the mind. So, certainly pedigree that blows me out of the water has said, do this, quiet the mind. And I agree, but I don't know that meditation is important. What is important is a quiet mind, and whatever that takes. And if you can't get a quiet mind, but you wake up at 3 a.m. with that same damn thing that's haunting you again and again, that's the biggest issue right there. That's what you're looking for. That's what you have to resolve, or it will just continue to wake you up at 3 a.m. You're getting answers. We're getting answers. We don't know how to recognize them. It takes a bit of unraveling, and then you see it and go, oh gosh, yeah. The cosmos in my mind is talking to me. Stuff is coming through Rumi's door, through the subconscious, from the Akashic records, or whatever the case may be. The cosmos, the cumulative cranial energy of humanity. I don't know. I don't know where that part is. I just know that we interface with it. Okay, I better end this before I get too repetitive. Lewis, thanks for the question. I love you, brother. And to everyone, love one another. I'll see you in the next video.